What is going on, you guys? My name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast, coming to you guys on April 23rd, 2023 for episode 49, where today we actually have some professional wrestling news. WWE Creative have no plans for a former women's champion. Update on AJ Styles being sidelined for months due to injury. Seth Rollins reacts to his random match against Omos at Backlash. And WWE planning a big match for Big E's WWE return. We're going to break down everything and then discuss it all right here, right now, on Interesting Podcast. But before we start, I do want to remind everybody that later on today at 3 p.m., we are going to be interviewing the Cerulean star Jaden live on YouTube and Facebook. And this is going to be a podcast that you guys are not going to want to miss. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that notification bell so you guys get notified whenever I upload content. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's get right into this. Now, as always, this is being brought to you guys by the Spotlight News. WWE Creative has no plans for a former women's champion. Last February, WWE Hall of Famer Lita made her return on the February 6th episode of Monday Night Raw, where she helped Becky Lynch defeat Bayley in a steel cage match. Becky Lynch and Lita then challenged Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the women's tag team titles. Last week, Lita was mysteriously attacked backstage on Raw. This past Monday on Raw, Trish Stratus revealed that she attacked Lita. PW Insider reported that Lita wasn't spotted backstage following the attack angle on the April 10th episode of WWE Raw. They also noted that the creative team has no plans for the Hall of Famer, which means her run is over. At one point, the belief was that Lita would be used in some way during the Lynch vs. Stratus storyline. However, that's no longer the case. End quote. See, now, this is something that I just find really odd, is what was the whole point of Lita coming back and teaming with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania when we could have had it where Lita came back and then maybe she had a match with Bayley and she was the babyface and Bayley was the heel, and then we could have gotten the Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch match at WrestleMania, and then Dakota Kai and Io Sky could have faced maybe a Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania, instead of going and having this and then have them win the women's tag team titles, and then a few weeks later they just drop them. And it's like it makes no sense to even have it occur. Like what was the point of them having and making a team and going after the tag team championships if now a few weeks later they have no plan for Lita, especially with them going and having Backlash in Puerto Rico and them trying to stack the card? Why would they not have something planned for Lita a few months? Like, I think this is a Vince McMahon move, because I believe that Triple H probably would have had a plan for Lita going into SummerSlam or Backlash or some type of premium live event that they're going to be having, because I don't think that Triple H is going to book something and then just stop it. That's a Vince McMahon move right there. So I don't really know what to make of this. It really didn't make any sense for them to come back and do that whole angle. Now that we're getting Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, it should have happened at WrestleMania, but we will be getting it in the future. Really freaking interesting, man. Really interesting. Update on AJ Styles after being sidelined for months due to injury. AJ Styles last competed on December 29th at the WWE Live event in Hershey, Pennsylvania. In that show, Styles teamed up with Carl Anderson and Mia Yim to face Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley in a 6-person tag team match. However, during the match, Styles suffered an injury, and the match ended as quickly as possible. The former world champion later revealed that he has sustained an ankle injury which doesn't require surgery. PW Insider reported that AJ Styles is still recovering from the injury. They also noted that Styles didn't appear for events during WrestleMania weekend in Los Angeles, California. They had this to say, and I quote, "We've been asked a lot about AJ Styles. He was not around WrestleMania weekend, and we are told it's just a matter of him being cleared to return from the broken ankle he suffered in December and being ready to perform. We haven't heard he's been at the WWE Performance Center or anywhere else on the road for the company." End quote. WWE has had a huge plan for the OC before AJ Styles suffered an ankle injury in December. See, now this is actually something that is good to hear, is that AJ Styles will be coming back to WWE, and we will probably get the OC coming back, which would be really, really good for the whole tag team division in WWE to get another added bonus in the OC of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and AJ Styles. And just something I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was really cool was it was in 2017, February of 2017, I went to Comic-Con here in Portland, Oregon, and I was able to meet AJ Styles. And I had asked him a question, and I had asked him if he remembers a specific time where he was sitting there and he was thinking about all of the companies that he had worked for, like, a New Japan Pro Wrestling or a TNA or, Impact or WWE, and when you took a step back and you thought about all of the companies and how they ran, which one did you prefer as far as like how things were run and everything backstage? And he had said WWE. And he said, and it wasn't because of the fact that he works for WWE. It was because of the fact that when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan had gone through multiple management switches and multiple owners and whatnot. So, and in Impact, he said that Dixie Carter, that was a major thing back then, was people not knowing exactly what they were going to be doing that night. And he said that that's something that's way different in WWE, is that when you are backstage and you do go there, you're going to know exactly what you're doing. But then again, this was back in 2016, 2017. So that's when SmackDown was really, really good, So I kind of, get like what he's saying now. I think it would be freaking awesome to ask him like the same question, and because everybody knows that Vince McMahon will just switch things on a dime. He will just change matches or change segments or change who he wants to push. And it's just, I could imagine it's chaotic sometimes backstage. So it'd be really, really cool to ask him again. But I just wanted to share that with you guys and actually give you guys an insight on what I asked him and what I remember of what his answer was, It was really, really cool and really, really nice guy. Seth Rollins reacts to his random match against Omos at WWE Backlash. WWE Backlash Premium Live event is less than 2 weeks away, and the company announced 3 matches for the card during last night's SmackDown. WWE announced that Zelina Vega will challenge Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Austin Theory will defend his United States Championship against Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley in a triple threat match. Also, the company added a match between Seth Rollins and Omos for the Backlash Premium Live event. Many fans were confused after the announcement, as both superstars were not involved in building up a storyline in any capacity. It seems like Seth Rollins was also surprised by WWE's announcement. Rollins responded to WWE's tweet with a GIF. Interesting. So they ended up showing the GIF on the website. But this is a match that people are actually going to kind of freak out about because Vince McMahon really, really likes the big, tall, monster, superstars to kind of take over WWE and really screw with the smaller guys. So it'll be interesting to see what WWE does with Omos and Seth Rollins in a match, given the fact that Seth Rollins can't really look bad right now, but Vince McMahon also wants Omos to look good. So it's going to be like, how is Vince McMahon planning on working that? And my prediction is we will probably get a screw finish where Omos will probably do something to get himself disqualified and build up heat and do whatever. And that's how, the match will end. But people are correct to kind of be freaking out and saying that this match makes absolutely no sense. It just came out of nowhere where these people didn't, Seth Rollins just beat Logan Paul. And then Omos was just at WrestleMania. I've even complete brain fart right now on who he was competing with. But it still doesn't negate the fact that this just came out of nowhere, and it shouldn't even be happening. I would love to see Seth Rollins in an actual storyline going against somebody like he was a few months ago when he was going up against Logan Paul. And Omos doesn't really need to be on WWE television. It's not that Omos is a bad person or anything. It's just his character is not that intriguing. We've seen giants before. We've seen the fact that Vince McMahon loves them and he's going to push them as much as possible. And that's the only logical reason as to why this match is even occurring. It's freaking interesting what Vince McMahon is going to be doing to WWE, and this is going to be a regular occurrence. WWE is going to get backlash if they continue to allow Vince McMahon to dictate what is being told on WWE television. It's just now a fact. It's just is Endeavor and UFC, and this is going to be something I'm going to continuously say on this podcast. When is Endeavor and UFC finally going to just let Vince McMahon go, or have there be some kind of way for them to not allow him to be giving any suggestions on storylines or character development or any of that? Really, really freaking interesting, and I will keep you guys updated. WWE's planning a huge match for Big E's in-ring return. Last night, Xavier Woods faced Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. This was actually this last Saturday. Woods lost to Gunther via sleeper hold, but the company has a long-term plan for the New Day down the line. As of now, 2 out of the 3 members of the New Day have been sidelined with injuries. I apologize. Last year, Big E suffered a neck injury on the March 11th, 2022 episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Recently, the former WWE champion said the following about his injury. This is what Big E said, and I quote, "It's just a complicated fracture. I broke my C1 and C2 in 2 places. A Jefferson fracture is what it's called. It just takes a little more time to heal." End quote. Last month, Kofi Kingston suffered a broken ankle during a brawl on the March 3rd episode of SmackDown. He had successfully undergone surgery to repair his ankle. WRKD Wrestling reported that WWE is planning a match between the New Day and Imperium once Big E and Kofi fully healed. Big E and Gunther would be the centerpiece of the storyline. This is what WRKD had to say, and I quote, "Despite a loss to Gunther on SmackDown, one long-term backstage pitch has seen Xavier Woods and a fully healed Big E and Kofi Kingston feuding with Imperium once the New Day are ready to return. The centerpiece for the feud would be Big E facing Gunther." End quote. See, now this is actually something that I brought up. If you guys go back up to episode 13 of Interesting Podcast, and I will actually pin it right up here right now. And Biggie Langston, when he comes back, he is going to get a massive reaction. He's going to get a huge pop. And that's exactly what I said in that episode. And I was predicting that it would be around SummerSlam because it was in March that he actually went back and actually got another update on whether or not, he is going to be able to return to WWE or not. And it's most likely that, yes, Biggie Langston is going to be able to come back. And when he does come back, there's so many things that WWE can do with him. Like, they could have him in the New Day again, or he could go into a singles run. Like, we could get Cody Rhodes versus Biggie Langston. And I believe that by next year at WrestleMania 40, Biggie Langston is going to be what Sami Zayn was for this year's WrestleMania. Just because of, like I said, when he comes out, he's going to get such a big reaction. Because when we see as fans that what professional wrestlers do and the sacrifices that they take, and then you watch somebody, break their neck on live television, and then you get to see them come back and actually come back and do what they love, and we really, really appreciate it. So he is going to be a major babyface. And I could either see Biggie Langston being in the WWE Championship or Intercontinental Championship title picture by next year, or we will get Imperium versus the New Day at WrestleMania 40. Really freaking interesting. And I will keep you guys updated on if we get any more news on Biggie Langston or when he will be returning to WWE. But that is all of the news that we actually had here today for Interesting Podcast, episode 49. Again, this was April 23rd, 2023. My name is Cody Thixton. I just want to thank you guys so very much for joining me here on Interesting Podcast. Later on today, Interesting Podcast is going to be interviewing the Cerealian star, a fast-rising star coming out of Portland, Oregon, Jaden. This is going to be a podcast you guys are not going to want to miss. I am really, really excited. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you guys get notified when I go live. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll catch you guys later today.